What's up, everybody? What's up? How's everybody doing?
Very good, thank you.
Are you doing good?
Asking. Yes.
It's everybody. Of course, I mean you, my wife as well. I'm doing great too. Really good. Really good. We got some questions on YouTube that we need to get to here in a minute or two, but let's just let people have some time to jump on here. So then we can get to this question. So I'm going to pull it up so we have it on YouTube. Yes. It was a response to, we did a video about 2 weeks ago about the supernatural. So this is a response to that. Someone was asking a question on YouTube. So I asked a follow-up question. So we'll get to that in a minute. We're so happy to just answer any questions that are in your heart. You know, it's very, I love this. So we can do live streaming. But we don't see you guys, so I always love when you guys type and message what you guys are, what's on your hearts, because then we can know.
Is this nicer?
You mean the angle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. We got the fireplace smack dab
There's a
in the middle.
pumpkin.
Your hair looks great today.
Really? Thanks.
Yeah.
There's volume because I just air blow dried.
Yeah, you literally just air blow. It was like we literally was like, okay, I'm pressing live right now, and I hear in the background.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have that happening? Like you're gonna go somewhere and your wife is like air blowing, last minute makeup, or is that just me?
Yeah, it's
just you.
must be just me.
Hey Jonas, nice to finally be able to see my favorite morning show, The Tappers.
Oh, I love
yes,
that.
I love that. It's so good. Welcome.
Welcome.
Nice to have you here, and welcome. Dan Norris is here. Awesome, Dan. We're actually gonna answer. No, it's sorry, not you. It was a guy named Danny who was asked the question. I was like, oh, it's the same guy. Turns out it wasn't. So, what you smelling there?
Some oil.
Of course.
Some essential.
Of course.
I'm the oil wife. Always sniffing.
Yes. Well, I do that a lot too. So, yeah. Let us know where you guys are from in the comments. Who are all watching this? And let's get right into this question.
Yeah, you can read it.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Danny. I was just making a joke by falling asleep while Christian was reading your question.
Oh yeah, it's a long question. Tried to get it, make a joke.
Really good. I have that humor that really bad sucks. It's really bad.
I think yeah. I love your humor though. But yeah, sometimes then we do things and we're like, oh no.
Yeah. Can you see the questions, by the way? Because I don't have any contact lenses.
Oh yeah, I'll absolutely. I'll read it. So this is a follow-up to what we talked about 2 weeks ago. If you haven't watched that episode, you can go to YouTube at Century International Matrix and watch it again. It's called The Supernatural. So this is a follow-up for that. It has to do with living a supernatural life and like praying for people and things like that. So this is from Danny Hill, and he would say, he says that he has a long question here, and we can make a short summary. So, he said he has a thought just crossed his mind. What if we're supposed to always ask and constantly ask the Holy Spirit what to do? Like Jesus said, I only do what I see my Father doing, only speak what my Father tells me. And in 1 Thessalonians 5:16-18, it says, pray continually. And I interpret as being constantly hooked up on the phone line of the Holy Spirit, meaning constantly listening. Yes, very good point. Pastor Bob also talks about prayer as listening. Well, maybe what we shouldn't do anything without asking God if we should and what to do. So stepping out of the comfort zone and try to pray for somebody, like on the street, someone has,
We were talking about stepping out of our comfort zone and doing things that we feel.
Yeah, exactly. So what if we're not supposed to try and pray for people and to see if something happens? That doesn't sound biblical to me. for the
Says
disciples.
Danny.
Yeah, for the disciples and first Christians, it always worked, except for a possessed kid one time that Jesus cast out. Yeah. And so, do you have any thoughts you want to share? You want me to start?
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts. Like, how do you say, like, yes and no, both.
Yeah.
I don't think this is black and white. Do you want to start though?
Absolutely. So yes, I think there are kind of two ditches we can fall into here. Like one is, of course, like you just go out and pray for every single person that you meet. You know, that's maybe not the most practical things. Like you might actually need to, you know, when you go to the grocery stores, you might actually need to pick up that food so you can go home and feed your kids, and not just pray for every single person there. So of course that could be very unpractical, and I think we can also fall into this, that we only do things when we feel like we have like permission from the Lord. Like you can take that to the extreme, like we have to ask God for every single thing we do. It's like, okay, should I drink tea or coffee this morning? You ask the Lord for that. Should I wear a green t-shirt or a black t-shirt? It can get really extreme, you know.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I was just like supporting, like, yeah, it can go to that. Then you feel like the world is about to end if I now wore a wrong t-shirt.
Yeah, and that can be, like, of course, a very kind of a controlling thing. I've actually met people that are like that kind of have, seems like a bit of a controlling mindset of who God actually is.
Because there is also this, though I want to say, like, the t-shirt thing.
Yeah.
Yes, God might give you a little nudge, like, wear this t-shirt today, and there is something like a print or something.
Totally.
And there comes somebody in the church and, God showed me that picture today in my dream. What?
Yeah.
And then you get to pray for that person. Something, you know.
Yeah.
It's very hard to put God in a box.
Of course.
I'm not even wanting to try.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. And that's good. That it's like, you really feel like something like that, then absolutely go for it, you know.
Good morning, Roger.
Good morning, Roger. I'm not going to ask God what t-shirt I put on. I don't think it matters so much. And I think we have freedom to choose what we want to do. Like, there are always invitations out there, but God is not going to force us to do anything. Like, I think he tells us all the time. Like, I've been nudged to pray for people many times. And I still didn't do it. But I felt like in my heart, like, you know, it says in the Bible that Jesus was driven by compassion. Like, he was feeling compassion towards people. And I think that is a great indicator. Like, if you're feeling drawn to, like, somehow to a certain person, like, you just feel a heart for them, a compassion for them, and why not offer to pray for them? Like, they could say, it's okay if they say no, like they don't want to, then that's fine. It's not something you can have some water.
I had some water.
Oh, that was the issue.
That was the issue.
Choking on some water.
Drowning.
Yeah. What was I talking about?
Yep. Oops.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's
That's
okay.
so bad.
What was I talking about? You guys remember? Okay. Yeah. I completely lost my train of thought.
Yeah, compassion. God
yeah.
compassion.
Oh, good.
You can feel compassion and pray for people.
So, and I, you know, it's we have a choice. We can absolutely think that the listening to where he leads us is very, very important. But, you know, if we do everything out of a place of love, that we actually care for the person. Like, if we want to ask to pray for a person out of genuine love, we want to see that person healed. This is just one example. You know, we're talking about physical healing. Then there's, like, you can't go wrong with that. If you offer and then they say no, then that's okay. Then you just say, okay, no problem. You know, it's then you show love to them by respecting their no. So, which can also make an impact on them. So, yeah, those are some thoughts I have about that. So I don't think we need to be so worried. I think, like, be willing to make mistakes, and I know that not everybody gets healed. that we pray for.
Nope.
I think that it's always Jesus' will for everybody to get healed. Now, why doesn't it happen then if it's His will? I don't know that, but I know that if I don't pray for anybody, I'm going to see 0 people healed. And if I pray for 100 people, at least a bunch of them are going to get healed. You know, like even if it's not all 100 of them, it's still going to be a lot more than 0. So
yeah. My thoughts are that, for example, one example, like very often in Christian world, there's this thing called prayer service, which means that in church there is people you can go to and ask for a prayer. Maybe it's healing, maybe it's something else.
Yeah.
And that's a place where not everyone get healed. But that's a place like, the question was like, are we supposed to pray on healing only if we feel Holy Spirit? That's not a place where you start asking like, should I pray for this person? Maybe I just don't have, like, you know, there's all kind of situations and we want that person to get healed, and we want to work as a tool for God. It's not us who heal them, it's God who heals them through us. So I wouldn't over analyze it, because it's not tragical if nothing happens, but it's very fun if they get healed.
Yeah, I mean, you could kind of flip it, like what you're talking about is like you have this, let's say you have a ministry time in the church, so like this kind of a night, you're talking about ministry night, and there's like a line of people that wants prayer, so you pray, minister to one person, and then after that, you know, there's the next person, all that. So what if you flip on it, like you have that person at the grocery store actually coming up to you and asking, hey, I have injured my leg, would you pray for me? Like, would you say no then? Would you feel like, I actually don't feel like it's God's will to pray for you? I mean, of course I would, of course I'll pray for you. You know, it's, I think the reason why we don't take the initiative ourselves, I know this is true for me, is that we are so uncomfortable or afraid of being rejected by people, like that
being laughed at,
or something, feeling embarrassed, to feel like we were which is just rejection. And it's actually, I found, it's just a big old lie. Rejection is not, like, it seems so horrible, you know, but like during the times even when people have said no afterwards, it's like, oh, well, that wasn't such a big deal, was it? You know, like many times people will say yes, and then you feel like awesome after, especially if something, you know, happens, like they get healed, which I've experienced on numerous occasions. It's like all of a sudden all that fear just goes out the window, and you can just pray for anyone. And it seems somehow when we have that, like, just confidence, which can only kind of be developed by doing it, it seems like people are more willing to say yes. But if we're like awkward about it a little bit, you know, then it's people can kind of sense that, even though I wouldn't worry about it, because
because let's think this way, we have no idea what those people, maybe they are even Christians, maybe they've been praying for, like, God, heal my eye, that's a sign for me. We never know. And then somebody comes and asks, can I pray for you? I can see you have something. What is that? I would love to pray for you.
Yeah, I remember.
We never know.
We never know. I remember having dinner with this couple in the US. It was super random how they just met at this music store, you know, this guy, and he just invited me to have dinner with his family, and I never, you know, I didn't really know them that well, but we, you know, came there. His wife has made lovely food, and I just felt, for some reason, and I told her, like, I feel like I'm really supposed to pray for you, for your health, or something along those lines, you know. And I was just like, I feel like I'm really supposed to pray for you. And I was like, can I do that? I asked her, and she just started crying. She said she had asked the Lord, you know, to get healed because she was struggling with health issues, which I was not aware of, and just been praying. I think it was like that day or just recently, that if it's your will, God, you know, then please heal me, or send someone to pray for me. So I prayed for her, and I talked to her husband later, and he said like that from that day on things started getting better with her health, and she got like better.
Wow.
So that's always like an example of what you just shared with me. So hey Gunnar, finally you guys are back on. Blessings. Yeah, we actually have been here every week, but it can be easy to miss. I know sometimes for some reason it doesn't always show up in the feed properly. I don't know what's going on, but you can always watch these episodes on YouTube afterwards. We put all the episodes up like 24 hours after we air them here.
Yeah.
So, and there you can also like ask questions. If you didn't get a chance to do it live here, you're more than welcome to ask questions live. And we'll talk about it. But you can also do it on YouTube like Danny did. So.
Then I want to, like, we were now very strongly talking about, like, no, we don't need to ask everything from God. We can pray for people without asking a permission. Is this your will, Lord? But I also...
On the flip side,
I do this a lot. Like, I feel sometimes when I'm making a decision and I'm unsure, I talk to you about this feeling. I have certain numbers that I feel.
Yeah.
And they are certain colors too.
Super.
They're like, I just start to, I know you're feeling numbers. There are certain, I know it's very hard to explain.
It's weird.
But I'm that kind of a person that they call a feeler. So I feel easily what, like, okay, I do decisions.
You feel deeply.
I feel deeply others, myself, and
you guys do a hand raise. Who in here watching are deep feelers? Like you just feel things more deeply than others. I am one too, but I think you are definitely even more extreme than I am. So just write like me if that's you. If you're watching this and you have a really like you're just sensitive and feel things deeply and intensely. I see you every week, but you are like the show friends. I can't wait for the next episode. Wow, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Thanks for saying that, Gunnar. That means a lot.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, we're really happy to be with you guys. It's a great show, by the way. That's
my favorite.
Your favorite show.
Yeah.
So she watches it constantly. Like we watch it together. We're actually going through it from the beginning now, but you still watch it without me. 2 other times. Yeah. It's a great show.
It's a great show. And
we are your sanctuary friends.
Yeah.
I'm Ross and you're Rachel.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. Yeah. Pretty much. Me. We have a deep feeler here.
We have a feeler here. Yeah.
Well, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
It's a blessing.
It's a blessing.
But it can be tough to manage also at times.
Yeah. It's absolutely a blessing, but everything has pros and cons.
It's like you get like more. When you get upset, you get more upset than anyone else. But also when you get happy, you get happier than anyone else.
Yeah.
Like you jump like around the room and like bounce off walls when you're happy. When you're down, it's like everything is.
Yeah, I have a hard time to like cover if I'm unhappy.
Oh yeah, you can't tell. There's no like poker face, you know. At least not for me. Maybe it's just me that I just see it so clearly. But anyway, you were talking about being a deep feeler.
Being a deep feeler, and for example, sometimes my friends who are very, very blue personalities. By blue personality, I mean they are very fact based.
Yeah.
They want facts. They don't care about feelings. They come and go. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but they know that I function differently and I'm created, I'm wired differently. So if I tell them like, honey, I think you shouldn't go out with that guy, I just don't have a good feeling about this. They actually listen because they know that I feel.
It's true. Your friends listen to that. Like,
yeah, they maybe wouldn't listen just anyone saying I feel like, because it doesn't necessarily mean anything. But I'm like, when I say I feel, or I feel this is not a good idea.
Yeah.
They're like, because it means like, and I don't know, I got sidetracked, but anyway,
This is good stuff.
Lord, like often talks to me, and I ask things often from Holy Spirit. Like what should I do? And then I just feel peace and that number and colors on certain decisions.
Yeah.
They feel somehow that there's glory on that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, Lord, I make this decision. I trust in you. I'm fine to make a mistake, but I know that if I do a decision based on like peace and trusting that, yeah, Lord is calling me there, and it's lined in Bible, it's lined in I'm not hurting other people.
Right,
it's like a healthy decision.
Or yourself.
Yeah, or myself. It's fine. And what if I fail?
Yeah.
Well, how does a loving father does when we fail?
Well, it's like a kid, especially when they start walking. You know, they're gonna fall down a lot. Yeah. Before they actually start walking.
Yeah. What does a parent do? They're like, "Oh, honey, let's try again." It's not like
you're a failure.
Try to get up yourself. I'm
never
embarrassed.
Walk. You'll never walk.
You'll never walk.
Or like you have to. Yeah, and they learn it also by doing it, by making mistakes, falling over, getting back up, falling over, and it's okay. We don't have to have everything figured out and be like 100% sure this is the right decision before moving on. Before we do something.
This is also actually answering for the next question.
Yeah, we had another. Yeah. Actually, that's really good. Man, this is good stuff. This is from the same person. Yeah. This has to do with what we're talking about now. Actually, he said he has a question, Danny. That is about that you would like to hear our thoughts on. Is about hearing God. And he's listened a lot to Pastor Bob as well. Awesome teaching. That man is so full of love. Yes, fully agree.
Yeah, I fully agree.
Full of love. You just listen to one of his videos and you just feel warmth.
Yeah, when I need comfort, I often put his video on because I just feel like, oh.
This is like this warm hug listening to Pastor Bob. He says, but some things I don't understand. I would like to hear your take on it. Okay, we'll give our take. This is not necessarily the truth. This is just Christian Heta Tapper take on it.
Yeah, I don't like to tell truths to people. I rather just want to like talk about things and have
because we're developing too. You know, we're giving you our thoughts where we are now, but things are.
But I think we often
evolving.
It's good to talk to different people, and especially people who are really like living like kingdom values, because you might like get perspectives. I love to talk to my kingdom valued friends and family and get like, oh, I didn't think it that way, because they have usually good perspective.
Right. Exactly. You were saying that today earlier. You surround yourself by the people. You become like the people you surround yourself with, and like we were talking about earlier. If you have a lot of friends that are active in praying for people, then you're gonna be influenced by that, most likely. Yeah. And start doing that more. And if you have friends that never do that, you probably never will. Yeah. Unless you are the pioneer, fire starter, and go for it. Okay. We all know all communication must be from the recipient's perspective.
What time it is? You've covered the time.
That's fine. We usually go for half an hour, but we can do a little bit.
I still want to know the time.
Oh, you can see it. Yeah. Okay, so let's continue with this question without further ado. We all know all communication must be from the recipient's perspective. If a student can't understand what you're saying, it's your problem as a teacher to find a way to explain it better. Or if Heta doesn't understand what you mean, it's up to you to try to find another way to explain. Is that true? Do you think that's true for you? Well, let's talk about this. And the relationship with God is described as a marriage, yes. So if I can't hear God, and obviously God sees that I'm really trying to listen to him, shouldn't he try in a different way to connect with me than in a way that's very obvious? Would like to hear your thoughts on it. Okay, so basically it's like, if I feel like we can't hear the Lord, then the problem is either with him or with us.
Okay, let's think which one of us is perfect. Is it us or God?
Yeah. And this is not to try and put you down in any way, but I
think it's always, unfortunately, us.
Or fortunately, we have control over ourselves.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
But yeah, so hearing God.
It's like basically saying there's like, I actually can relate to that, because was it yesterday or day before yesterday? We were praying together, and I heard nothing.
Right.
I said,
What did you say?
do you remember? I said, why don't I hear anything, God? Talk to me!
Yeah, you just said, God, speak to me.
Yeah. Speak to me. Yeah.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Oh, it worked.
Not in the moment.
Oh yeah, we prayed and you had some awesome revelations.
Yeah, I had very good breakthrough last night.
Come
Personal
on.
breakthrough.
We love that.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It makes life so exciting. Just you hear the Lord and things start changing. But Jonas is saying it's always the teacher's fault for my bad grades.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I actually think we have this mindset that it's a teacher's job to teach you as a student. I actually think the teacher can absolutely not teach you anything. And I found this to be very true. Like, quick side note, I'm learning 2 languages right now, and I have teachers, but they do not teach me Cantonese or Finnish. I use them as a resource. I teach myself, but I use them. They can help me, like kind of shape. Oh no, if you say things like that, then it sounds better, or like this word means that, or kind of help me guide along the way. But
they can give you all kind of tools, but you are the one who has to do the work, basically.
Yeah, if I wasn't proactive, it would basically be more or less a time waste to take those lessons that I do online. But
or very, very, very slow process.
Yeah, and I like to, get some results. What was the issue why you weren't hearing God, you think, last night? Like,
well,
actually,
I think he wanted to talk to me by not me hearing him.
What does that mean?
Because I have an experience in my life that often when I stop hearing from the Lord, something is off.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Yeah.
With me. Maybe I have sin in my life. Maybe I'm cooperating with fear or negative thoughts or gossiping or things that he's like, no, what's going on with you?
Yeah.
And when I start thinking, I feel awful sting in my heart. Yeah, do I need to tell other people I'm dealing with this? I don't want to admit I'm dealing with this kind of stuff. I want to be better than that. It's like yeah.
Love it. Yeah.
It can be. I'm not saying it's always that, because there's many things when it comes to hearing God. But this it's like how I recognize that. I'm not hearing. What could it be?
Right. No, thanks, Jonas. Yeah, exactly. So we were saying, like, there's certain things that are kind of blocking you, and you start feeling frustrated because you want to hear the Lord. So you know that there's something you need to deal with that is kind of sort of blocking your connection. But so what happened? Do you want to share a bit? Like, you don't have to share like everything, but just you dealt with what was blocking you. How did you do that? How did you do that? Okay, can't hear you, God.
Oh, well, I went for a walk.
Okay.
You were going to work. I walked with you.
Yeah.
And then I walked back home alone, and I was talking with God, like, kind of like praying, like, God, if I was a superhero, what would be my superpower? This is things I think about when I'm alone.
What would it be? I wonder.
And I was thinking these things, and I felt like somehow like discouraged that I don't feel spiritually so strong. I was thinking maybe I would have a huge sword, and I don't know if I could hold a huge sword. I'm so weak, like from my hands. Things like that. I know that sounds crazy, but that's me. And then
I think it sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's funny. And then
who doesn't love swords? And
then I suddenly, like, because I was seeking him, I felt like I have believed a lie. I just, like, suddenly he spoke me just by me realizing something. I didn't hear a loud voice, like, calling my name or anything.
Yeah.
I just realized something that I call God spoke to me.
Mm-hmm.
That I have believed a lie for a long time in my life, and it was time for that to come out.
Mm-hmm.
The funny fact about lies is that we don't mostly realize they're lies, because otherwise we wouldn't believe them. We think they're truths.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I just said like, oh Lord, I nailed this lie on your cross. Thank you that Jesus has died for this lie. Like, and
so good.
send it wherever you want, and instead give me your truth.
Yeah.
Replace that in me with your truth, and a huge weight lift from my shoulders. And even because I as I said, I'm a huge feeler. Even like the world felt better, more exciting. I saw lights, like colors were brighter, everything like that has been waiting on me so long.
Yeah, you texted me at work, and I was like, I knew from the way like something. Okay, well, this is like an important breakthrough that happened. So good, so wonderful, so good. So that's so basically what you're saying. Like you felt frustrated, couldn't hear, and you just went to the Lord and prayed, and opened yourself up, and then you heard something, and you just felt like, okay, this like there's something to this.
Yeah, and after that, it's like again easier to connect with God. There's no block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a big reason why it could be one thing. I don't know if that's exactly what you guys are struggling with, but it could very well be. It has been for me, like that we don't trust our ability to hear the Lord.
That's something.
Because if I don't trust, if I believe I can't hear God, then of course I'm not going to hear God. Like even if He talks to us, so I'll be like, well, I still can't hear you. So yeah, it's so important to that we trust ourselves. You also saying to hear God. What does that mean? I mean, first thing you expect when it comes to hearing is a voice, I guess. Is there any tips of other hearing styles that we miss out during these modern days? This is a very good question.
Very good question.
And it was actually going to kind of come to this, how can we hear the Lord? So, you had a feeling, would you say it is?
Yeah, I hear God many different ways, and I know that some hear sometimes Him even calling their name. They hear with their ears.
What are some of those ways?
Then sometimes it's feeling peace on a decision or feeling peace on something.
Yes.
And there is like, how do you recognize it's not, for example, fear that you're making a decision out of like a safe choice? No, it's more like
like you were talking about, you're feeling this number when there's something is actually basically you're feeling peace.
I'm feeling peace and then
it feels like kind of feel life on it. It feels easy. It doesn't create stress. Doesn't create anxiety. But it's like
it might not be easy. It might feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
Yeah, like this takes some courage, or I feel like I'm supposed to quit my job, which I've done.
Yeah,
It wasn't easy. It was very uncomfortable, but it gave me overwhelming peace.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I was reading this book by Teresa of Avila, and in it she was talking about how you can know if something is from the Lord is what fruit does it produce in you. Does it produce like the love, patience, compassion, like all those the fruits of the Spirit? Like, does it produce peace? Does it produce joy, excitement, love, like all these positive things? That's a great indicator that it's the Lord. But if it produces confusion, stress, all these negative things, then that's a good indicator that it's probably not God's voice. But like you said, they can also be there a bit of a challenge. Maybe it's a bit difficult.
It takes some learning. It's a new skill. They always take some learning.
New muscle. Yeah, and it's like new muscle, building new muscles. That can be, it hurts a bit to build it. Yeah.
This one is very lovely to learn, though. I started my early days when I discovered, I can actually hear Lord. Like the first vision I ever had was like when I was like in a listening prayer where I was just supposed to listen and hear God. I saw a lemon. Still, I'm like, I don't know why, but that was the first thing I heard. Didn't make any sense, but I trusted. God spoke to me and showed me a lemon.
Yeah.
And I've come far from that. Because people who know me, they know that I see very often very colorful and very long, detailed visions.
Right.
But I started small.
Yeah.
I started to practice.
That's there's nothing that can be so significant just to see like just such a small thing.
And
it's like being a Jedi. Feel the Force.
Exactly. Yeah.
I guess a little bit.
Funny. And something very common. How God speaks to us often. You're reading Bible, for example, or anything. Just something suddenly is very highlighted for you, like something speaks to you, and you've been thinking about it, and you see certain like quote or something, and you're just like, and it means a lot to you, and you know what to do. That's God also. Okay. If you have a crush on someone right now, and you keep seeing things that remind you of her or him, it might not be a God. I'm sorry.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one because
there's so many feelings involved when you have a crush on someone. Because it might be like, oh Lord, is she the one or he the one, and you'll feel like he says yes because you have so much feelings. So, but that's just one you're just gonna have to kind of walk out, and time will tell. You know, whether
if she blinks her eyes now, Lord, it's that you talk to me that we are meant to be.
Or it's like, oh, she wrote a smiley, so she must like me. But all those things are, I think, just manifestations of being fear of being rejected. So we try and make up a story.
It's similar,
that they just try and make up a story that that person actually likes us. Like we're trying to affirm that that's the case because we're not. Sure, we're afraid of being rejected.
Yeah, I know we girls, me and my friends, and I know from experience, tend to see like a name or something in like somewhere, a sign on next to the road or something where it's something that like it's the same kind of a thing. When we have a yellow car, we tend to start to see yellow cars everywhere. Like, why did everybody just bought a yellow car?
Yes,
it's like this is because I'm just saying because it can get a bit like painful if we how would you say, you know what I'm thinking.
Not sure exactly.
Okay, I just wanted to bring it up. I wish I would have heard it, let's say so.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean is basically, you tend to have these things in your mind and you're looking for those things, so you're going to see them. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. When I was a teenager in church and like, oh, this is so meant to be, like, it totally, like, wasn't,
All been there. We've all been there. So, and another, two things I want to say. One important thing is just to create an environment that actually invites God to not to speak. Well, he always speaks, but provides an environment for you where you can hear clearly. So,
good one.
Like, it's so easy to do. Like, whenever you have a free moment, you always, pick up your phone, and I've been guilty of this. You scroll Facebook, or I'm doing my reading, language type stuff, or whatever it is. Like, you scroll Instagram, all those things. Those things are distractions. And it will make it harder to hear the Lord. Now, it's fine to scroll Instagram, but if we constantly do that, then there's no room to for you to hear the Lord. So I felt a lot of peace like the past few days because I've deliberately trying not fill every single moment. Like, I was just having some coffee and some breakfast here earlier, and I was just sitting there. Like, I wasn't necessarily doing anything. I was just sitting there, thinking, listening. Like there's some space for God to listen. That we don't always have to fill our ears and our eyes and minds with stuff. So One of my favorite teachers, Bill Johnson, said that, busyness is, I'm not quoting him exactly, but basically busyness keeps us from hearing the Lord. So I think that's a big one. And what was the last thing? Was just
I don't know. Oh,
what were we gonna say? Yeah, did you have a comment on that?
yeah, like a quick comment. I remember when I was super busy in certain time of my life. Yes. I read this from somewhere. I have no idea from where, and it was like, when you are the busiest, that's when you have the most time to take and to the Lord. And that was such a. I think it also saved me from a lot of stress. I was preparing for my final exams in high school, and like I read from 9 to 9 every day. Like,
wow,
I
that's
studied
a lot.
And but I took breaks, Bible breaks, and they were like really. They did something for my soul, like what was very good.
Good point. Like, it doesn't have to be hours and hours and hours. Like, you just like start small. If it takes time to create new habits, of course, but like take a 5-minute break and just sit there and listen.
When I was walking back yesterday, I was very tempted to take my phone and scroll Instagram.
Yeah. But walking, might trip and fall.
But then I wouldn't have gotten my breakthrough. I wouldn't have started talking to God.
Yeah, exactly. So one thing is, like, also the only way to really grow with this is to just try it. Like, and of course you start small, but you're feeling you're supposed to do something. It can be something smaller, it can be something bigger. Then just trust that you're actually hearing from the Lord. And how are you going to find out if you were hearing? It's by actually doing it, and you see it by the end result. Did it work out? Then more often than not, you'll find that it actually does. Like taking some risk, and I'm not saying taking like some stupid risk to end up in a destructive situation. That's not what I mean, but just be willing to make mistakes, like a baby who is learning how to walk, or infant, just falling over and getting back up again. And you'll find that once you've had many of those experiences, that you've stepped out in faith and it worked out. Like, it turned out that what you were hearing from the Lord was true. Then you get better at it. Like, it actually is a skill, just like it is to be a good listener. I realized I have some thing I need to work on my listening skills, and it is a skill, just like it is like playing guitar. That's a skill.
So it would be very powerful if we would always write down like our pray, like what we're asking in prayer, or what we're like, because I've sometimes done that and it's amazing. I'm like,
and you mean like to compare the results?
Yeah, like God has answered that, God has answered that, God has answered that. It gives so much confidence. Like, when we look back, I used to pray for this situation and it's better than I expected. Now, like, it's very often that happens, but we don't write those things down.
And we tend to forget.
So we just like forget. Yeah.
It's like we have a person we've been praying for now, praying for a while now, and now things are starting to happen.
Things we are like.
So it's like, wow, is this?
What?
Are you kidding me right now? Yeah. Is this really? Didn't expect this. Maybe I should expect more out of prayers, actually. So yeah. Hope that was helpful. Does that make sense, you guys? Do you have any questions about what we're talking about? We usually do half an hour, and we've gone 45 minutes, but that's fine because we just couldn't stop talking. So let us know in the comments if you have any questions. You can also, if you're watching this afterwards, you can send questions, comments on YouTube. And I would love to, if you have like an experience where you've heard the Lord, acted on it, and it's worked out, no matter how big or small. Would love to hear it. So would love to hear some testimonies. So feel free to write that in the YouTube comments. You want us saying, I used to write down prayer requests in a little notebook. I did check off most of it. It was inspiring to see. Wow, yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have a little prayer checkbook. How cool is that? Maybe we should start to have that.
I used to have that.
You used to have that.
Yeah, I used to journal
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, you did. You did. I did too, actually, until a few months after we met, I stopped journaling because it was too much. Oh, that's fine. It was time to stop for me. But I did for like 10 years. But that's really good because then you're always like having multiple things that you can kind of see, what actually, you can check off what the Lord actually answered. And it's probably a lot more than we think. Was that what you found when you did it? Also, like, it sounded like that was true for you. Like, well, you checked most of it off.
Yeah.
And you were like, whoa.
Yeah. And there was, because many of those things happened few years later. So I really don't remember what I've been praying 2 years ago. Even the big prayers.
That's important.
Big, bold, fat prayers.
Yeah, sometimes it might take years. Sometimes it might take years. And keep praying. And do you have anything more to add?
Nope.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. It was lovely to hang out with you all. And keep the questions coming. So good. So good. So we love to answer those. And good morning, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you are.
Is it good night for us? No, it's not. No, it's not.
Not quite, but yeah. Much love, you guys. We love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.